She wasn't supposed to be alone with him. Not in that room. Not in that school. Not with a police body camera recording every second of what came next. But the moment the student walked out of the classroom, the door clicked shut, and the air changed. Two adults who were trusted to protect children suddenly forgot every rule they were supposed to follow. The body cam caught it all. A married elementary school teacher leaning forward, lips trembling, whispering something only he could hear.
Okay.
Oh, God. Oh.
A police officer on duty, in full uniform, knowing exactly what the badge on his chest meant, and breaking that trust anyway. Their voices hushed, their jokes too intimate, their chemistry too obvious. And then, in a moment that would destroy 3 lives forever, she pulled him close. Their lips met. A kiss in a public school classroom. A kiss more reckless than they imagined. A kiss that would end a career, a marriage, and the carefully constructed double life of a woman who thought she could keep every secret buried. Her name was Shelby Moss, and until that moment, she was everything a parent would want in a teacher. Dedicated, involved, loved by students, respected by colleagues. She coached programs, stayed after hours, and built close bonds with kids and families. She was married to Randy Moss, a man who thought he had a loyal wife waiting for him at home. But Shelby had been living 2 separate lives, one as a devoted educator and one as a woman deeply entangled in a forbidden affair. She wasn't strong enough to walk away from, and the man she risked everything for was Officer Brian Gilley, the DARE officer assigned to her school. His job, ironically, was to teach children about good choices, responsibility, and avoiding dangerous situations. But he made the most dangerous choice of all, falling into an affair with a married woman on school grounds while wearing a camera that never stopped recording. The footage begins harmlessly enough. You can hear a student talking in the background while both Shelby and Gilley stand near a table. The child is searching for something. When they find it, they leave the classroom. And that's when the mood shifts instantly. The laughter becomes softer. The eye contact lingers longer. Their conversation turns personal. Too personal. Their words are casual, but their chemistry is anything but. She jokes about inside stories. He leans against the desk, relaxed, confident. They tease each other like 2 people who have crossed a line long before this moment. When Shelby says she has to leave for an appointment, the tone becomes even more intimate.
You gotta go. You gotta go. I'll see you tomorrow, though.
Really? Yes, see me tomorrow? Okay.
Like I wouldn't make a point to come see you.
That last line is the spark. The kiss is the explosion. There is no hesitation, no fear, no awareness that they are surrounded by children's desks, artwork on the walls, backpacks hanging from hooks, a place where innocence is supposed to be protected. And yet, here they are, acting like teenagers hiding in a classroom instead of the adults responsible for it. When the kiss ends, their breathing is unsteady. Her hands linger on him. He whispers, "I'll see you tomorrow." And she smiles, breathless, "Tomorrow."
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
By the time he walks out, the camera captures the school logo printed across Shelby's shirt, a reminder of where all of this happened, a reminder of how reckless they truly were. What neither of them knew was that this wasn't just a moment, it was evidence. But the body cam wasn't the only thing that would expose their affair. Their phones would reveal everything else. To understand how they got there, in that classroom, on that camera, you have to go back to the beginning. Back to August 2024 at Castle Heights Elementary School in Lebanon, Tennessee. A quiet town, family-oriented, the kind of place where teachers know their students' parents, where people trust local police, where kids run to greet the school resource officer in the hallways. It's the kind of place where scandals aren't just surprising, they're unthinkable. Shelby Moss was the type of teacher schools usually bragged about. Young, energetic, committed to her students. She graduated with honors from Tennessee State University. She coached athletics. She stayed late to help with homework, decorating her classroom with hand-cut posters and motivational quotes. Parents saw her as someone safe, someone nurturing, someone who loved teaching as much as she loved the children, and at home, she had stability. A husband named Randy Moss, a man who trusted her completely. They were married, young, building a life together, sharing dreams and routines, planning futures. On the outside, Shelby's life looked exactly how she wanted people to see it. Structured, grounded, respectable. But appearances don't always reveal the cracks forming underneath. In August 2024, the school welcomed a DARE officer, Brian Gilley. Tall, confident, known for being friendly with kids and parents. His role was to teach students about good decision-making, about resisting drugs, about protecting themselves, a symbol of safety in a place built for children. Shelby and Brian worked in the same building, crossing paths every day. At first, it was innocent. Quick conversations in the hallway, friendly smiles, light teasing about school events. But something shifted. Conversations grew longer. Their inside jokes multiplied. The sense of familiarity turned into something heavier, something charged. And then, on August 29th, 2024, the body cam captured everything. In the footage, you hear a student searching for something. Shelby helps them find it. The child leaves. The door closes.
Over here, I can't find it anymore.
You can look.
This is where I was sitting before I left. There it is. Nothing.
So now we can look for it. Okay.
Yay!
See ya.
Bye.
The air changes instantly. They talk like people who've crossed lines before, or were on the verge of crossing them.
She told me yesterday at the gossip table that I'm a little bit cooler, but we can't tell Officer Hensley. I was like, oh!
You can't tell him that because he came in here one day and she was eating lunch in there with me. And she was like, what's my favorite officer doing? And I was like, oh. And said, but get her to say that again. And Officer Gilly's doing it. He was like, oh, no, that's not like that. She's got my back. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, because she fist bumped me in front of him, and he got so mad.
Yeah.
And so the next day, she completely ignored me. So then yesterday, she told me, she was like, well, he told me I had to ignore you, but you're a little cooler. I was like, okay. I was like, that can be our secret. I told her, I was like, that can be our little secret.
Yeah.
You've got to go, Brian laughs. I know, she replies softly. There's a long pause, a dangerous pause, then the kiss. A kiss in a classroom, a kiss at an elementary school, a kiss captured by a police body camera.
Yeah, you do gotta go. You gotta get to your appointment.
Huh?
You gotta get to your appointment.
I gotta be there I could wiggle a few times, but...
You gotta go.
Huh?
You gotta go. I'll see you tomorrow, though.
Will you? I guess see me tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't make a point to come see you.
Okay. That's fine. Are you going out this door or that door?
I'll go out that door.
I'll stop that door too. After you do.
Okay.
Oh, God. Oh. Yeah. All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
After he leaves, the camera catches the school logo on her shirt. There's no denying where they were, no denying what happened. And still, that was only the beginning. Behind the scenes, things were moving fast, faster than they could control. While the camera caught their physical chemistry, their phones were documenting something far more revealing, an emotional affair. The text messages start off flirtatious, lighthearted. Good morning, babe. I love you. Have a great weekend, beautiful. I can't wait to see you. These weren't harmless compliments. These were confessions. These were love messages between a married woman and a police officer who should have known better. Their exchanges became routine. Good morning messages, good night messages, plans for secret meetings, even holiday photos and shared playlists from car rides together. This wasn't a fling. This was a relationship. They talked about taking holiday pictures together, about music they listened to in his truck, about festive outfits, about missing each other. And behind every "I love you" message, there was a husband at home, unaware his wife was texting another man the same words she had once reserved for him. Then came the messages that revealed just how deep into the double life Shelby had fallen. I'm here. Back seat. Back seat. Short, coded, deliberate. They weren't meeting for conversations. They were meeting to be alone. And then came the fear. Kendra just sent me a friend request. That one message exposed how paranoid they'd become. They worried about mutual connections, about people noticing them online, about someone piecing together what they were trying so desperately to hide. But despite all the secrecy, despite all the caution, they didn't stop. And then the line was crossed, deeply, permanently. In September 2024, according to the investigation, Shelby and Brian engaged in sexual activity on school property. Not a kiss, not flirting. Sex. At an elementary school where children walked the same hallways, where after-school programs were in session, where parents trusted them to protect their kids. Brian later admitted it happened after school hours, but even he couldn't deny the reality. Students could still have been on campus. Shelby didn't see it as the moment her life would collapse. Not yet. She thought she was in control. She thought she could juggle two identities, the devoted wife and the secret lover, the perfect teacher and the rule-breaking partner. But when you build your life on lies, all it takes is one truth to make everything fall apart. That truth arrived in December 2024. Randy Moss wasn't looking for evidence. Maybe he had a feeling. Maybe there were signs. Maybe his wife had changed in ways she didn't realize he noticed. But whatever the reason, he opened her phone. And what he found didn't just hurt, it shattered him. I love you. You're beautiful. Backseat. Secret pictures. Holiday plans. Proof of an affair between his wife and a police officer she worked with every day. His world collapsed in seconds. Randy could have yelled, he could have confronted her, he could have begged her to stop, tried to fix things, or walked away quietly. But he did something that required strength most people never muster. He reported the affair to the Lebanon Police Department, not anonymously, not indirectly. He filed a formal complaint, knowing exactly what would happen. He knew this would cost careers. He knew this would spark investigations. He knew it would put his private humiliation on public display. But he also knew that right is right, and what Shelby and Brian had done was not just immoral, it was a violation of trust, ethics, and professional duty. The complaint landed on the desk of Police Chief Mike Justice, and the moment he saw the allegations, the internal affairs investigation began. They reviewed body cam footage, they reviewed text messages, they interviewed staff, they questioned Brian directly. Have you had sexual relations with her while on duty? Brian answered, no sir, period. But the evidence was already speaking for itself. By April 2025, the consequences were escalating beyond what either of them could control. Brian faced a decertification hearing, his last chance to keep his career, his badge, and his credibility. In a desperate plea, he begged the Tennessee Peace Officers Standards and Training Commission to spare him. I know I've done wrong, he said, voice shaking, but I've impacted so many lives. But impact isn't enough when trust is broken. You engaged in sexual activity at a school, the commission replied. You were supposed to protect children. In May 2025, the commission voted unanimously. Brian Gilley was decertified for life. His name was added to the National Decertification Index, a permanent mark he could never work in law enforcement again. As for Shelby, the fallout was just beginning. Although she was only suspended for 2 days initially, the Lebanon Special School District escalated the matter to the Tennessee State Board of Education. They had the power to issue formal reprimands, suspensions, or revoke her teaching license altogether. And unlike a local investigation, a state-level disciplinary action would follow her forever. Any school in the country would see her record. She could never escape it. Facing the growing likelihood that her license would be revoked, Shelby made her decision. In May 2025, she resigned from Castle Heights Elementary. The teacher parents once trusted, the woman who coached children, who decorated classrooms and encouraged young minds, walked away from her career forever. Her resignation wasn't a sign of remorse, it was a consequence of reality. Her double life had finally collapsed on top of her. Psychologists call this phenomenon limerence, the intoxicating, addictive rush of new romance. It clouds judgment, overrides logic, and convinces people they're invincible. For Shelby, Brian offered excitement where life felt predictable. She wasn't falling in love, she was falling into obsession. And like all obsessions, it came with destruction waiting at the end. The school environment made it worse, seeing each other daily. Working in the same building, sharing routines, their proximity fed the addiction. and Shelby made the fatal mistake of believing she could separate her realities. With Brian, she was desired. With Randy, she was trusted. At school, she was respected. In secret, she was reckless. She believed she could maintain all versions of herself. She believed her lies could stay hidden. She believed she could have everything, until the truth took everything away. Randy Moss's decision to report the affair stands out for one reason: integrity. Many people betrayed at home would have reacted with anger, revenge, or silence. But Randy chose accountability. He chose truth. He chose to protect the community that trusted his wife and the officer assigned to her school. Without him, this affair might have continued indefinitely. Without him, the inappropriate use of school property might have escalated even further. Without him, the body cam footage might have never seen daylight. In the end, 3 lives were changed forever. Shelby lost her marriage, her career, her reputation. Brian lost his badge, his authority, his future in law enforcement. Randy lost the woman he believed he knew, and the marriage he thought was real. One secret became one choice. One choice became one mistake. One mistake became a chain reaction. In the classroom where she once taught children to do the right thing, Shelby risked everything for a moment she couldn't take back. In the truck where he once played Christmas music with her, Brian lost the career he'd built for years. And at home, the man who loved her discovered that sometimes the truth doesn't just hurt, it changes everything trust is earned. Trust is fragile, and once broken, it rarely returns. The lesson in this case is simple. Double lives always collapse, secrets always surface, and when you betray the people who believe in you, the consequences reach farther than you ever expect. In the end, Shelby didn't just lose her job, she didn't just lose her husband. She lost the one thing she never thought she would, the version of herself she pretended to be.